Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Welcome to Meta News. Welcome to the Blanco business segment. And tonight we're going to continue from the adverse possession topic of discussion from last week. And we're going to go into some actual procedures for implementing how to conduct an adverse possession. And as I stated last week, you would basically follow the statutes and codes of the state in order to be in compliance with the state and in harmony with the law and to be able to properly take over another person's property with the intent to acquire the title based on the fact that the property isn't being used. So the first thing you would do, you would identify vacant properties, and typically properties that are vacant tend to have high grass growing around them. They have the windows boarded up. There's no electricity or anything connected, and if the property is vacant and not being used, then that's a candidate for an adverse possession. The next thing you want to do is team up with a property investor. Typically, property investors would like to invest in properties, right? And sell those properties and make at least as a minimum a 20% return on their money. Um, Basically, it's easy to bring in a property investor with a adverse possession because instead of the private investor having to purchase the property at the price it's at plus renovate it, he can just come in and renovate it in an agreement with you to basically put the money forward and take an interest, and you'll have a contract on how much money he's going to get back. Now, typically, like I said, it's 20% return that they look forward to. So let's say that the state say under this adverse possession rule, to return the property back to this real owner, the owner has to pay you what you put into it as well as 15% return. So if the property investor wants 20% return on this money, um, you can get him the additional 5%, which would be little to nothing based on the fact that he's made his profit. Next, if you do so, you got to learn to draft the documents of notice and intent to adversely possess a property, and you can find that information in the statutes and codes, because the statutes and codes are going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Afterwards, you need to break in, such as pop the locks and replace the locks with your locks and secure the property and put up proper notice that it's an adverse possession, and you would have having to give you would have had to give the notice of intent prior to doing that to the county sheriff and the other authorities. Then you will repair any damage to the property and bring it back to its full use and turn on all the utilities. And then, based on the state statutes, you must either occupy, or some states will let you sublease the property. You will put it back into operation to be generating income and paying taxes and all those good things. And then, last but not least, you will wait to receive legal claims and prepare for litigation or negotiations, depending on if someone comes back and try to claim their property back, or they want to go to court to remove you from the property. And once again, since it is an adverse possession, they're required by law to approach the situation through litigations of the courts to return the property according to the state rules and state laws. So basically, that is the basic procedure for how a an adverse possession begins and ends. And once again, this is not legal advice. It's entertainment for educational purposes for you to now take this secondary source information and go to the primary source. Thank you for tuning in to Meta News, and you can see all our segments on YouTube, Instagram. Good night.